Dear Nigerians, in the last presidential elections, I campaigned for meritocracy, insisting that we should leave region, religion, tribe, and tongue from our politics. Those who were more schooled in the art of politics laughed at me because, based on their experience, only amateurs talk about meritocracy in a nation whose constitution recognizes and promotes the divisions of tribe and tongue. As I address you today on unfolding events within and without my party, the ADC, I am forced to acknowledge that indeed region, religion, tribe, and tongue are and will continue to be the key ingredients in our nation's politics until we do away with the geriatrics who have a chokehold on our country. A few weeks ago, I had warned that a group of mostly old former political office holders were executing a carefully orchestrated agenda to take over the ADC to prosecute Kachikwu Abubakar's presidential ambition come 2027. I also warned that Peter Obi and other presidential hopefuls in this coalition of geriatrics were being duped, as Atikwu's men had been carefully positioned to take over the ADC party structure across the country. Today, I have been proven right as former Governor Obi and his people now realize that this coalition is indeed a one-man power grab. Former Vice President Kachikwu Abubakar, a man who claims affinity and friendship with the South, does not believe any Southerner deserves to be president of Nigeria. Former Presidents Obasanjo and Jonathan are alive to attest to this uncomfortable truth. In their desperation to hijack the ADC, they deliberately perpetrated fraud, of which I now present evidence to you today. I have here before you terms of settlement entered as judgment in the Court of Appeal of Nigeria, holding at Port Harcourt, with appeal number CAPH 225-2023, between the ADC, Chief Rafunsu, Engineer Eddie Lawrence as appellants, and some of the ADC state chairmen as respondents. What is the fraud, you may ask? To use the ADC, they needed to free it of all legal encumbrances, such as those challenging Rafunsu's fraudulent claim to the chairmanship of the party. And so, they forged signatures of some of the chairmen who were not interested in the sale of the party and presented it to the court as terms of settlement, which the Court of Appeal adopted as judgment. I have here copies of said judgments and international passport copies of the chairmen whose signatures were forged. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, please compare the signature specimens. Our lawyers have dispatched petitions to the appropriate law enforcement agencies on this. As if this was not bad enough, we all watched almost 2 months ago the comedic performance of Rafunsu as he anointed David Mark as chairman of the ADC and at the same time presented him with a membership card of our party. I again warned Nigerians that this was fraud being perpetrated in broad daylight, as Nwosu had no legal mandate to anoint or appoint a chairman for our party. Sections of the media subsequently addressed David Mark as chairman of the ADC, even though they knew it was constitutionally impossible for this to be so. But again, this is Nigeria, where anything is possible. The same media less than 10 days ago covered and reported a supposed NEC meeting where the same David Mark was again appointed or anointed as chairman of the ADC. So, what are we to believe? When did former Senate President David Mark become the chairman of the ADC? Here is a copy of a letter written to INEC on the 29th of July 2025, wherein the same Rafunsu, who weeks before this had presented David Mark to the world as the new chairman of our party, is still signing his signature as national chairman of the ADC. What a joke. Nigerians are all watching the live coverage of a fraud so monumental and yet so stupid that it beggars belief. These men are following the law to correct their illegalities in full view of Nigerians, INEC, and the media. But nobody's asking questions because we're supposed to be a nation of anything goes. What is the fallout of all these? What is the place of region, religion, and tribe, and even tongue in all of this? Nigerians, please listen to me loud and clear. Atiku Abubakar and a few northern elites who have for decades held political power but did nothing, absolutely nothing, to alleviate the under-education and attendant impoverishment in northern Nigeria for political purposes are at it again. They have armed the weapons of region, religion, tongue, tribe, and poverty as they convince millions of poor northerners that a Southern President Tinubu hates them and is the cause of their poverty. On a daily basis, they are spreading deliberate falsehoods against not only President Tinubu, but against all potential Southern aspirants like myself for the office of president. Peter Obi has been told in very clear terms that he will never get northern votes as an Igbo man, and as such, he should accept to be Atiku's running mate. In order to weaken the South, they have now drafted in former President Jonathan into the race, who is alleged to be offering Peter Obi the position of coordinating minister of the economy for him to support his ambition. In all this, Nigerians are the losers because meritocracy, which can only thrive when ceteris paribus is in play, has been thrown out of the door. Because of a truth, ceteris paribus doesn't exist in the Nigerian ecosystem. Sadly, I am now here before you championing the cause of a Southern presidency, a notion that before now was totally against all I believed in. Nigeria has indeed happened to me. I urge all Nigerians to resist former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and his co-travelers who don't believe in an equitable Nigeria. We must all come to equity with clean hands and sincerity of purpose. We don't burn our houses because we want to kill rats and cockroaches. Sometimes we just need to make our houses clean so that rats and cockroaches live on their own. My earnest prayer is that Nigeria will soon work for every one of us. God bless you all. I'll now take questions. I'm definitely running again. Secondly, I have no issues with having other people contest within the ADC. After all, in the last primaries, we had almost 14, 15 people in the primaries. I am totally against people coming in through the front door or through the back door to hijack the party structures because they don't want a free and fair contest. The ADC, the party which we're trying to build, is a party that believes in meritocracy, that believes in the superiority of ideas, that believes in ideals that will fashion a new Nigeria, something that is totally alien to the people who are trying to hijack our party. If they did indeed believe in what we espouse in the ADC, they will have come in properly. But of course, they want to take over a party without primaries and just have a platform within which to prosecute their ambition. This we stoutly resist in the ADC. I hope I answered your question. For your question, actually this question should be for the media, because 2 years ago, before I ran for the elections, the same Nwosu came and said that I was expelled for the party. I represented the party in the elections. You all saw that. The same Nwosu who two federal high courts in Nigeria have ruled that he's not the chairman of the party, said to you that he expelled me from the party. Can you build something on nothing? INEC recognized me as the flag bearer of the party. I am still a member of the party. A man who is not chairman of the party, who has no locus, no legal basis, cannot say I've been expelled from the party. It's just like someone saying, I am no longer a Nigerian. I am a Nigerian. Today, yesterday, tomorrow. I'm a member of ADC today, yesterday, and tomorrow. Next question.
Yes. For those who...
Clear. Let me be very clear to you guys. There's absolutely nothing no power that will stop me from contesting in the ADC primaries come next year. Absolutely no power whatsoever. The constitution of our party does not preclude me from contesting. I assure you guys that the people who have tried to hijack our party realize that they bought bad markets. As I speak to you in different press briefings, you hear them making reference to ADA and other alternatives, that they have a plan B. They do indeed have a plan B, because they know that they have me to contend with within the ADC. All they are doing is making our party popular across the country. They are helping us brand our party. We have ADC brand going across all over the country, and we benefit from this. I assure you that in the next elections, that when people see the ADC logo, people recognize the ADC logo and we will benefit from it. And as such, we actually want to prolong this battle as much as possible, so that they can help us, they can spend their money to brand our party for us. Next question, please.